Chapter 9. Lahiri Mahashaya's Kriya Yoga, 4th part. Higher Kriyas, the Tribhangamurari experience. In this school the 5th Kriya happens in 3 steps called Amantrak, Samantrak and Thokar. This Thokar is different from what was described in the preceding chapter. A new concept, the macro movement Tribhangamurari, is introduced. The 6th Kriya will then be introduced by discovering that the movement Tribhangamurari exists also inside each chakra. It will be called micro movement Tribhangamurari. The macro movement Tribhangamurari is perceived first by simply moving one's breath and awareness along a prescribed path. Then this perception happens in the state of tranquil breath and is accompanied by the Vasudeva mantra. At the end this perception is reinforced through the help of the movements of the head. By repeating this procedure, going up from Muladhara to the head and coming down following the 3-curved path Tribhangamurari, Tribhangamurari is equal to form with 3 curves, each chakra is stimulated and partially pierced. 5th Kriya. 5th Kriya, first part, Amantrak. Start a deep, very long inhalation. Your tongue is stable in Kechari Mudra or at least in baby Kechari. Very slowly raise prana and awareness through the spinal channel, from Muladhara to the Shikha point, Bindu, half a minute is required. Do not pause in any chakra. Then start a deep exhalation. Let prana and awareness come slowly downwards along the Tribhangamurari path and reach Muladhara. Another half minute is required. The Tribhangamurari path starts from Bindu, goes up to the left of a very short length, then descends toward the right side of the body. Once a particular point in the back, 5 to 6 centimeters above the right nipple, is reached, it curves and moves leftwards to cross the heart knot. After reaching a point in the back that is 5 to 6 centimeters under the left nipple, it changes its direction again and points toward Muladhara. The 3 procedures Amantrak, Samantrak and Tribhangamurari Thokar are not intended to be tested simultaneously. If, to spare time, you will do that, the only effect could be the imprinting on your mind a wrong way of conceiving the practice. We call this technique Amantrak, which means without the use of a mantra. This teaching is addressed to expert Kriyabans who can make their breath subtle and long, very long. It is possible to make a round of Amantrak last 1 minute. If you experience it in a shorter time, let us say 40 seconds, it does not mean that your practice is wrong. However, resolve to do your best to lengthen your breath. Let us clarify the most important aspect of this procedure. Its essence, it consists in the constant intensification of the mental pressure along the whole circuit. Consider the action of squeezing an almost empty tube of toothpaste to get the last bit out. This gives you an idea of the quantity of mental pressure you have to apply during this procedure. If you utilize a great strength of concentration and will, there is no limit to the increase of the internal energetic flow along the Tribhangamurari path. As for the routine, some teachers gave this counsel: for 2 weeks, repeat this technique 25 times, once a day. Then for another 2 weeks repeat it 50 times once a day. Then for another 2 weeks 75 times. And so on up to 200 times each day for 2 weeks. We must clarify that those teachers did not give the initiations in 2nd, 3rd, 4th Kriya. They gave initiation only into 1st Kriya, then required a particular preparation for this Amantrak, to practice Kriya Pranayam 200 a day for 2-3 months. For those who have practiced conscientiously all the previous steps, a good prescription is this: for a couple of months repeat this technique 36 times, once a day, then start to practice the following technique Samantrak. 5th Kriya, 2nd part, Samantrak. Samantrak means, with the use of a mantra, now the breath is free, forget it wholly. The syllables Om, Na, Mo, Bha, Ga are vibrated into the first 5 chakras, Ba in Bindu. Ti, with prolonged T, is chanted in the center in left part of the brain. The syllables Va, Su, Di, Va are put in the 4 new centers outside the spine. Ya is vibrated in Muladhara. These 5 new centers are 5 vortexes inside the main flow of the current. They are not a new set of chakras. Each syllable when vibrated is like a mental token. Yet since the technique is performed slowly, there is plenty of time to make this stimulation very effective. We have now described one round of Samantrak, which lasts 1 minute. If you realize it is shorter, let us say 45-50 seconds, make a resolution to reach the exact timing. Remember what we have recommended while introducing a mantra. Now, the essence of this particular procedure consists in utilizing the vibration of the 12 syllables to encourage a more keen intensification of the mental pressure along the whole circuit. The prescription for starting the following practice are the same we have described for a mantra. However, read carefully the following. Don't be in a hurry. Amantrak and Samantrak create in your body the perception of a particular internal movement. The Thokar Tribhangamurari procedure should be applied only when this energetic flow is well printed in your consciousness. This technique, correctly applied, has the power to create a permanent transformation in your attitude towards Kriya. You will become acquainted with a mostly unknown ecstatic state while fully living the experience of life. The mantra's syllables, which are put with care like seeds in each center, will change your mood. It is like turning on various lights along the 3 curved path. It is like as if the rays of a sun in a clear sky finally entered your practice. Some students try to relish right away the power of Thokar Tribhangamurari by a desultory, systemless experimentation of Amantrak and Samantrak, far from abiding by the given rules. 5th Kriya final part, Thokar Tribhangamurari. Forget the breath or start with a very subtle breath. The hands, with interlocked fingers, are placed on the navel area so as to push the abdominal region upward, thus creating a physical pressure on the first 3 chakras. Starting with the chin on the chest, move the energy and awareness very slowly along the spinal column from Muladhara to Bindu. Your chin comes slowly up following the inner movement. Touch internally each chakra with the syllables of the mantra. Om is placed in the first chakra. Now in the second. When energy and awareness are at Bindu, the chin is parallel to the ground. Now the descent of the energy begins. The movement of the head follows millimeter by millimeter its downward energetic flow along the Tribhangamurari path, crossing the heart chakra. All this happens in a fluid way and within 30 seconds or less. The following description of the movements of the head may seem complicated at first, but with a minimum of patience, the right movement of the head will be learned. You need only to understand that it is conceived in the most logical and effective way of intensifying a particular snake-like downward flow of the energy. Let us now begin to describe the movements of the head. Without turning the face, bend your head sideways a couple of centimeters to the left. Return to the middle, raising the chin. Remain only an instant in this position, with the chin raised, and slowly turn the face to the right and as far as possible. Only the face moves, not the torso. During this slow movement, the inner flow of energy moves from Bindu to the point in the back of the right side of the body. Realize how this simple movement accompanies perfectly the descent of energy. Here the first of 5 psychophysical blows happens. The chin touches the right shoulder for an instant and the syllable wa is vibrated in the 8th center. The shoulder also makes a small upward motion to make contact with the chin easier. But be careful, if you feel you're forcing it, stop. Those who are not able to have this contact with the right shoulder should content themselves with coming as close to the shoulder as possible and stimulate the 8th center with sheer mental strength. Then the face turns very slowly to the left, accompanying, millimeter by millimeter, the internal flow of energy from the 8th to the 9th center and crossing the 4th chakra. If possible, place the chin over the left shoulder. The second blow takes place when the syllable Su is vibrated in the 9th center and the chin for an instant touches the left shoulder, which makes a small motion upward to make contact with the chin easier. 2 more blows happen when the syllables D and Wa are put in the 10th and 11th centers. The procedure is the following. The chin slowly moves toward the middle of the chest while grazing the left collarbone. During this movement, 2 light blows are given to the left collarbone in intermediate positions. The blows are given, of course, in the moment in which the syllables of the mantra are vibrated. Finally, a last blow is given on the chest, central position, when the syllable Ya is vibrated in Muladhara. I hope it is clear that the essence of this particular procedure consists in utilizing the movements of the head, with the 5 strokes, to encourage a further intensification of the mental pressure along the whole circuit. Repeat the procedure 36 times. After completing the programmed number of rounds, calm the system with a minimal practice of Samantrak, then relax by practicing a simple mental pranayam. The supervision of an expert helps to avoid any problems. I am referring to stress and pain in the cervical vertebrae and in the muscles of the neck. Abrupt movements should be avoided. Instead, use a deep intensity of mental concentration. For the first couple of weeks, do not practice every day but every 2 or 3 days. Remark. Through this procedure, the Tribhangamurari flow is intensified by specific movements of the head. The problem is that many Kriyabans focus all the attention on giving the strokes and don't understand the value of creating mental pressure along each millimeter